Have you ever felt like you don't belong in your own family? Like you were born into the wrong household, surrounded by people who don't understand you, criticize you, or even hurt you? If so, you might be a chosen one, a soul with a special purpose. And believe it or not, being born into a toxic family was an accident. It was a setup for your greatness. This might sound crazy, especially if you're still dealing with pain from your upbringing. If you are watching this right now, it's obvious you're looking for answers. Don't skip this video. Watch to the end. You will get your answers. So, let's dive deep into why chosen ones are often placed in toxic families. But before that, click the subscribe button to follow us for more contents like this. Toxic families forces you to wake up early. Most people go through life asleep, following traditions, obeying rules, and never questioning why things are the way they are. But chosen ones, they don't have that luxury. Growing up in a toxic family means you see hypocrisy early, like when parents say one thing but do another. You feel deep loneliness because there's no real emotional connection at home. And you start to question everything, simply because nothing around you makes sense. This forces you to seek answers outside of your family. You start reading, exploring spirituality, or searching for deeper meaning in life. While others stay comfortable in their ignorance, you wake up. But this is where it gets interesting. You develop critical thinking and self-awareness much earlier than most people. This sets you up for a life of truth, freedom, and real growth. The truth is, waking up early isn't easy. It's painful. When you're a child and you realize the people who are supposed to protect and guide you are actually harming you, something inside you cracks open. You begin to notice things your friends don't see. You hear the fake tone in your mother's voice. You catch your father's empty promises. You sense the tension in the air even when no one's talking. You become hyper-aware. And with that awareness comes a pain of clarity. But that clarity also becomes your power. While others grow up wrapped in illusion, you're forced to see the world for what it truly is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start asking questions. You look for the truth because you know you're not getting it at home. Books, teachers, art, spirituality, even silence. Anything that helps you understand your pain becomes sacred. You become a seeker. And though it's hard, this path gives you something most people never get. A head start on becoming your real self. Not the self your family tried to mold, not the version they approved of, but the real, raw, evolving you. You might think this is all, but the next one is something you never expected. You develop superhuman strength. Toxic families are like boot camps for the soul. They break you down, but only so you can rebuild yourself stronger than ever. Think about it. If you survived emotional neglect, you now have unshakable independence. If you endure constant criticism, you develop thick skin. And if you were never truly loved, you learn to love yourself fiercely. Most people never have to develop these traits. They stay weak, dependent, and easily broken by life's challenges. But you've been training for hardship since childhood. The good part of this? You become resilient, fearless, and unstoppable. Qualities that most people never gain in their entire lives. The strength you develop isn't loud. It's not showy or aggressive. It's quiet and deep and rooted. It's the kind of strength that helps you keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. It's the strength that makes you get back up every time you fall, even when no one's there to cheer you on. While others crumble at the first sign of rejection, you already know how to sit with that sting. While others fall apart over criticism, you've heard worse from your own family. You learn how to be your own cheerleader, your own protector, your own safe space. And in all that suffering, You create a powerful foundation. You become someone who can't be broken by outside noise. Your worth comes from within, not from someone else's approval. That's not just strength. That's superhuman. You see through lies and manipulation easily. Toxic families are full of gaslighting, the kind that makes you question your own reality, like being told that never happened when you know it did. They use guilt trips to keep you in line, saying things like, "After all I've done for you," even when their actions cause harm. They play mind games through things like silent treatment, favoritism, and constant emotional confusion. If you grew up with this, you can spot fake people and toxic patterns from a mile away. While others fall for manipulation, you see the red flags immediately. Guess what happens later in life? You develop strong intuition and discernment, skills that protect you from toxic relationships, scams, and energy vampires. It's like your eyes were opened too early. You watched adults twist the truth, change stories, and deny your reality again and again. You heard apologies that weren't real, promises that meant nothing, love that came with conditions. You were trained not by choice to read people, really read them. Their tone, their body language, the spaces between their words. You can feel energy shifts in a room. You can tell when someone is lying even if they smile. You can hear manipulation buried under sweet words. This isn't something you learn from books. It's something you picked up as a survival skill. And though this skill came from pain, it now becomes one of your greatest tools. It helps you choose better friends. It protects your peace. It stops you from walking into traps. You no longer accept just anyone into your world, because you know what it's like to be surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing. You've learned to trust your gut, and that instinct is almost always right. If you have watched to this point, I want to tell you that you are on a journey to find healing. You learn to trust yourself because no one else did. In a toxic family, you quickly realize you can't rely on your parents for emotional support. You learn you can't trust their advice because it's often selfish or controlling. You begin to understand that you have to become your own guide. This is why chosen ones often have such strong inner wisdom. They had to trust themselves when no one else would. You know what you become after? You develop unbreakable self-trust, a rare and powerful trait that leads to true freedom. You become the one you needed. You build an inner voice that's calm and steady, even when the world feels chaotic. That voice grows stronger every time you choose yourself, every time you say no to what hurts and yes to what heals. You stop needing validation. You stop begging for love from people who are incapable of giving it. Instead, you become your own source. And that's freedom, real freedom. Because when you trust yourself, no one can shake you. People can lie to you, abandon you, even try to bring you down. But they can't control you. You become rooted in something no one else can touch, your own soul. You become a healer, even if you don't realize it yet. Many chosen ones are natural healers, empaths, or light workers. But how do you learn to heal others? By healing yourself first. Your toxic family was your training ground. The pain you endured taught you how to comfort the broken, how to see through people's masks, and how to transform suffering into strength. Now, you can help others do the same. Your pain becomes your purpose. You turn your wounds into wisdom and guide others out of darkness. What you went through wasn't just for nothing. Every sleepless night, every tear you cried in silence, every time you felt unseen or unloved, it all shaped you into someone powerful. Someone sensitive enough to feel what others are feeling, but strong enough not to be swallowed by it. You can walk into a room and feel the unspoken sadness in someone's eyes. You hear what they don't say. You understand what it means to break quietly because you've been there. And because of that, you know how to hold space for people in their most vulnerable moments. You know how to gently help them put their pieces back together. Your ability to heal doesn't come from textbooks. It comes from experience. And though it came a high price, it's now something sacred, something that touches lives. People feel safe around you, not because you've had a perfect life, but because your soul carries the light of someone who's walked through darkness and made it out the other side. The next reason will blow your mind. You were meant to break generational curses. Why were you born into a toxic family? Because you were strong enough to change it. Most people repeat the same cycles. Abused kids become abusive parents. Neglected children grow up and neglect their own kids. Broken families stay broken for generations. But you're different. You're the one who says, "This ends with me." You break the chain of toxicity and create a new legacy of love, strength, and freedom. It takes incredible strength to do what you're doing. You've looked at your family line and said, "Enough." You chose the harder path, the one where you question, unlearn, and rebuild from the ground up. And that kind of courage is rare. Every time you choose to respond with love instead of anger, you are rewriting the story. Every time you give your future children, friends, or even strangers a compassion you never received, you're planting new seeds. Seeds that will grow into healthier relationships, into homes filled with warmth instead of fear. You're not just healing yourself. You're healing forward and backward. Your healing touches the past generations that didn't know better and reaches into the future for the generations to come. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. And yes, it's exhausting at times. It can feel lonely and overwhelming. But look at you, you're doing it. You are turning your family's pain into a story of redemption. You appreciate real love more than anyone. People who grew up in loving families often take love for granted. But when you've spent your whole life starving for a real connection, you don't settle for surface-level relationships. You demand deep, authentic bonds. You demand respect and honesty. You crave love that feels like home. Because you've known fake love, you recognize real love, and you'll never accept less. You understand that love isn't loud promises or pretty words. Love is presence. It's consistency. It's feeling safe without having to perform or pretend. You've lived with a counterfeit version of love, the one that manipulates, controls, and disappears when you need it most. So when real love shows up, quiet, patient, real, you recognize it like water in a desert. You don't care for shallow games or masked intentions. You'd rather be alone than settle for a connection that doesn't nourish your soul. And that's beautiful, because the love you seek is rare. But when you find it, you know how to cherish it. You know how to water it, how to protect it, and how to hold it with open hands. You don't just want love, you want truth. And because of that, when you give love, it's honest, deep, and lasting. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. Chosen ones often feel isolated, but there are millions like you awakening, healing, and stepping into their power. Your next steps. Forgive, but don't forget. Your family was part of your journey, but they don't control your future. Embrace your strength. You survived for a reason. Now it's time to thrive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and follow us for more contents like this.